kicked us off the air. How dare
sorry,
you?
fans. Apparently, we went over our allotted amount of time, and
the internet is not fair.
Oops, my bad. But go ahead, Nancy. Continue.
Okay. I was never a fan of Cena. I never was. He never impressed me. I always liked Edge. He was, I preferred him over Cena. I preferred a lot of people over Cena. He's got about 6 moves. That's 1 move less than Kevin Nash. I just didn't find him impressive. And the fact of the matter is, without starting any kind of controversy, but you can't tell me that he's never touched a steroid.
I don't know if we can tell you because we've never seen him touch one, but
it's a toughy subject. That's hard to get at.
I feel also that WWE protects him. They're trying to blame his divorce on The Rock and all this other fun stuff. I feel like they let their other talent around whenever something bad happens, with whether it's a DUI or anything like that. Cena gets bad publicity and they somehow suspend him and, make him out to be his god, which he isn't. I don't really respect him either. I don't.
I agree with you there because, from what I'm hearing through, different sources is that the WWE has wanted John Cena to turn heel for about 2 years now, and he's flat out refused.
I got a heel for him.
Okay, he's wanted to be the baby face of the franchise, and he doesn't feel that turning heel is going to benefit his career, which I wholeheartedly disagree with. And pretty much he's dictating the rest of his career. And that's kind of sad because now you got the WWE's pretty much being run by Stephanie McMahon and Triple H and their creative team. Vince McMahon has little input in it as, unlike 10, 15 years ago when it was all him. And, they're just letting this guy dictate, who he wants to be, what character he's playing. And it's kind of getting scary. It actually reminds me a lot of Bret Hart when he, refused to drop the title in the, AKA screw job.
98 Survivor Series.
And the only reason why some people don't understand, the only reason why they had to screw him over to get the belt off his waist is because he flat out refused to lose in the storyline.
But he was in his hometown.
It doesn't matter.
I don't blame him.
You get paid the same amount of money if you win at home if you win on the road.
It's disgraceful to lose in your hometown, to lose the title in your hometown.
It's Canada. Who cares?
When do they go to Canada? When do they go to Albuquerque? Oh, that's not Albuquerque. What am I saying? Alberta. Alberta. I'm getting tongue-tied here.
Boy.
I meant Alberta, Canada.
It's Canada. Who cares? Nobody cares about Canada.
Yeah, but still, he cares about Canada. So care about him.
No thanks.
He might have refused to sign the contract to lose the belt. However, he signed the contract to win the belt, and then they took it on their own accord to change that and had everyone in on it. I defend Bret Hart, until, I don't see anything wrong with what he did. He wanted to leave as champion, just vacate the belt, and, go to WCW, and it's not fair what happened to him. He was pretty much humiliated on national TV.
I love on national TV hawked a loogie right in Vince McMahon's face after he screwed him like that. That was beautiful.
I don't know what I would have done.
I would have done the same thing. I would have done the same thing.
I would have booed him. That's what I would have done.
You would have given him a bigger boo than that. The excellence of execution. Screwed.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Career over. Who cares? Anyway, so how long are we going to have to sit here and watch John Cena as our champion?
Oh, please. Just Monday, tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. I'm seeing a John Cena versus Ryback versus Mark Henry triple threat match at Extreme Rules.
You know what? I agree with you there.
And this is the problem with the WWE these days, is that I can watch Raw, and I can predict that, and it's probably going to happen. And it took no knowledge of wrestling whatsoever to even guess that was going to happen.
It has been pretty predictable. I think that they should have us right for them.
Well, everything was predictable. Just like, we knew certain guys were going to win. You knew Triple H was going to win. You knew The Undertaker was going to win because CM Punk's taking time off, so you're not going to have the guy break the streak and disappear. Everybody pretty much knew Cena was going to beat The Rock. It was just a matter of how.
I didn't know.
The match was awful, by the way. Absolutely awful. It was counter move after counter move after counter move. They wanted everybody to see that all these guys knew each other so well, that they're outsmarting each other, and it was awful. The ending was awful. Everything about it was awful. John Cena's, antics after the match when Rock was pretty much passing the torch to him at the top of the stage. If you go back to the day, was it Hogan versus The Rock, when Hogan was passing the torch to The Rock?
Old Lion and the Young Lion.
Yep, and you had Hogan pointing to him, and The Rock had nothing but admiration and respect in his eyes and in his gestures, pointing to the crowd. And then you had The Rock doing it to Cena, and the only thing Cena was worried about was putting his arms up in the air and yelling, "The champ is here." I mean, he's a clown, and unfortunately, what is he, like 35, 36 years old? I think we're going to have to deal with him for another 2 years. Yeah. Probably 3. I'd say he's going to have the belt about 2 to 3 times in the next 2 years.
I hope you're wrong. I hope that he just goes away.
Did you think that was the right thing at the end of that match for them to have that heartfelt... I mean, honestly, I thought I was watching an episode of General Hospital. Oh. I really did. It looked like a soap opera. I mean, I never seen 2 guys share so much love, and, they hugged each other like, "This is for you, and I did this for you," and, oh my God.
The Rock has done that. He did that with, Hogan.
Well,
I know he did that with a few other people.
It's respect.
That's respectable.
Different.
That's respectable. Does he gotta respect Cena like that? Does he gotta pass the torch to him?
Look, it's no different than baseball players. They're paid professional athletes, and they respect what they do for a living. They respect each other because they know what each other goes through on a daily basis and on a monthly basis, a yearly basis, and a career. When some of these guys' careers are over, they need surgery after surgery after surgery just to get out of bed. And, the fans don't see it like that. The fans are all about now. They want to see what's in store now. They want to see a new champion now. They want to see guys beat the hell out of each other now. They're not worried about, 16 years down the road when John Cena needs a wheelchair to get to the mailbox because, he's been putting his body through the ringer for 20 years. I mean, look at Hogan. Hogan's had 2 hip replacement surgeries, knee surgery after knee surgery. The guy barely can walk down to the ring. And why? Because he's been doing the leg drop for 25 years. And, you're shoving your hip bone back into your spine over and over again for 25 years. Guess what? It's going to take its toll. So as athletes, I respect these guys. And when people say, wrestling's fake, yeah, you know what? Maybe they're hitting each other. It's fake.
To an extent.
Maybe they're landing on each other. It's fake. But you know what? These guys get hurt just like anybody else, any other athlete, sometimes more. And they do it 4 or 5 times a week. It's not back in the day when they used to wrestle. The champions used to wrestle 3 times a month or 5 times a year. These guys wrestle 3, 4 times a week, and that's just what you see. You have house shows that are not even televised that these guys are still wrestling.
Yeah, they have, and I do think that they should have more recognition for that, as far as that's concerned, because they're on the road 300 days a year.
Yep.
300 days a year.
I mean, that's pretty insane.
And there's no off season.
No.
Wrestling is all year round. There's no such thing as baseball season. So, wrestling season is never over.
No, you're absolutely right. And Ric Flair said it best. I'm not a big book reader. In fact, I don't read books at all. But I did read his book, To Be the Man. And, it gives you a really big insight into the 60s and the 70s and 80s and even modern day wrestling and what these guys go through and what they had to go through back in the territory days. It's insane what they put their body through and, how they had to fight basically for the right to be in a match. And it wasn't even televised, half of them back then. And, then when they started the televising, it was who was the man. If you were the man, you fought on television. If you weren't the man, you fought in a dark match or you fought in a house show that, 16 people were watching somewhere in like an Elks Lodge in the middle of like Dakota. So I mean, it's a lot different now. Everything obviously with the internet and cable and pay-per-view and things along that that line. It's just totally different.
You can watch it on your phone.
You can watch it on anything that shows a stream. You can watch it on, and you can get it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can access wrestling at any time, anywhere, and even whether it's an independent Jersey show, if it's a WWE show, if it's a TNA show, if it's a Ring of Honor show, it doesn't matter. These guys are available to be watched pretty much 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. You can find wrestling. So, I don't know.
TNA takes all the old people, too.
Yeah, it's the senior citizen home of the WWE.
Yeah, well, the WWE should bring Jeff Hardy back. What do you think about that?
No.
Oh, Lord.
No.
What do you mean, oh, Lord?
No.
Beautiful hair.
No.
Beautiful hair.
No.
The Swanton Bomb.
I respect what Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy have done in their career, but they're not the guys that you're remembering anymore. And I said it to somebody else, and I know it's going to sound really terrible, but you bring Matt Hardy back, you give him a fat contract, you give Jeff Hardy a fat contract, they fight for 3 months, and then you see them on TMZ being arrested, driving under the influence of cocaine again. It's just...
Oh, they do drugs?
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, I guess I should have done my research.
Sorry. They both were arrested for DUI.
I mean, Jeff Hardy's house was raided. They found pills and pot and coke and...
The man likes to party, huh?
Oh, my God.
It said with intent to sell. I mean, it was...
It was bad.
Like a
He's partying hard.
amount.
Yeah, it was bad. It was real bad. And
never mind.
Never
mind.
You put yourself in that situation, you like to give guys chances at the chances, but enough's enough. And you're taking a step backwards by, like I said, when you're bringing back recycled guys, we don't need it. I don't need it. You don't need it. Fans don't need it. Fans that are paying $100 for a ticket, they don't need it. They don't need to see 37-year-old guys that can barely walk jumping off the top rope anymore.
I pay $100 to see Stone Cold come back in the ring. I'll tell you that.
All right, enough with the Stone Cold.
I love the man. He sprayed Kurt Angle with milk. Have you ever seen anyone shoot milk at another person? Thank you. I don't hear any answers.
Because once you do it, it's not going to be done again. Nobody wants to see it.
I want to see it.
Definitely not.
My vote don't count. That's
all right. So how long you think, and don't say Monday, how long you think we have to see John Cena as a title holder?
I'm going to say July.
July. That's a long time.
Too long.
Who's going to take it?
Anybody. I'll go take it.
Go, Nancy, go.
She's going to bite his ankles until he submits.
I'll be right in your corner. Throw you a sledgehammer from under the ring.
Well, if I start training now, I'll have at least 2 more moves down, more than he has.
You give him the flying gallbladder.
Yes.
The Dream Crusher. That was your finishing move anyway.
The Dream Crusher.
Yes.
Oh, boy.
That's it. Yep. That
sounds like it hurts.
Yeah, it does. It does. She's been crushing the dreams of men for almost 30 years.
Oh, how dare you.
Now. It's pretty bad.
How dare you.
But,
now I'm on Twitter.
I say, yeah, now. You think they're going to give Ryback a push for a title? I mean, I know they tried to, but I mean, a serious push now where he actually might win a title.
I really hope that he does. I really do like him. I enjoy his matches. It's pretty sad that they always throw these handicap matches at him and everything, and it's just no contest. I'd like to see a match where he's a little bit more challenged than that. I'd like to see him have a run at the belt. I really would.
I agree. I mean,
Goldberg.
Yeah, he's nothing like Goldberg. And the people who chant that is so naive and they're not real.
So Ryback actually knows how to wrestle.
Yeah, Goldberg did nothing but throw guys around the ring,
speared him and jackhammered him.
Which back in that day was great because if you look at Goldberg was an imposing figure, but he wasn't that big. He was a short guy with a huge neck and a barrel chest.
And a long tongue.
Okay, and he picked guys up. Like, he gorilla pressed Brock Lesnar. Okay, and Brock Lesnar outweighed him by a good 65 pounds. So, I mean, he had ridiculous strength, but you look at Ryback. Ryback is just, I mean, he's muscle on top of muscle, and it's not gross either. It's not like Scott Steiner gross. It's like the guy's jacked. I mean, his neck is huge, and you know, you could pick two guys up and put them in a move. I mean, it's pretty insane. But I would love to.
Picked up Mark Henry.
He did pick up Mark. I mean, he didn't do it like he does everybody else. He didn't do it like he did everybody else. He kind of got under him and picked him up. Fireman's carry. He didn't flip. Yeah.
Still did it.
He didn't flip him though.
He did enough though. I
All
can't
that
do that. You can't do that.
No,
I don't think anybody can do that.
I don't think he's sexual chocolate anymore.
No, and I really don't want my arm between his legs, to be honest with you.
What'd you say?
I said I really don't want my arm between Mark Henry's legs anyway.
Chocolate would melt on you.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I might be sick.
Oh, God.
I'm very visual. I'm picturing really weird things.
Me too. We gotta stop.
And we gotta eat dinner. So that's not good.
I'm hungry, yeah.
Well, anyway, anything else you'd like to add? Well, you know what? Give us a real a recap of WrestleCon.
Oh my God, WrestleCon, that was amazing. First we met Bret Hart. We told him the story about how my mother was punished as a child and couldn't go see him. My mom had said, I had tickets to meet Bret Hart, but now you can't do it. And it ended up that Bret Hart wasn't even in town. My brother didn't find out that my mother lied to him until last year.
Good.
So for, a decade and a half, he really thought that my mother wouldn't let him go see Bret Hart. Bret actually laughed at the story and told my mom she's unforgivable.
Yeah.
I met RVD, obviously. Met Raven, who called my brother's friend an effing retard because he didn't recognize that his music was Nirvana. That was fun. And I met Lita, which, before I even say anything, not to, gossip or anything like that, but she was in the same room across from Matt Hardy, her ex.
Wonder what they were doing.
No, it gets better.
CM Punk's ex, Beth Phoenix, and his ex Maria, who Lita is currently dating CM Punk. I would be uncomfortable. I don't know about anybody else, but that's really fun. But
yeah, that must have been awkward.
Sounds like these ladies get around in the locker room.
Yeah, and then, I met her. I had the autograph. I got the picture. She was kind of nice. She didn't really say that much. I kind of interrupted her eating a banana.
Fitting.
But, I kind of said, it's a shame what the Diva division is gone through. It's just kind of, offered me a little smile. I don't know if she's shy or anything like that. It was the end of the day, and not for nothing, I'm not happy being in a room with one ex, let alone all these people that, she somehow is romantically connected to. So I did feel kind of bad for her.
Quote the Raven Nevermore.
Oh, God.
Was
Virgil there?
He was, and I ran. I told my mother not to make eye contact with him because he's up in the cliffs.
I saw a picture. It was so sad. I saw a picture on Facebook, and literally, nobody was at his table.
It's very sad. There's this whole phenomenon, hashtag Lonely Virgil, where people take pictures of him, in parking lots, and, still holding on to the dream. There's a video of him in a subway trying to sell his autograph. I really like Virgil. I was really, really excited when I did meet Virgil at Comic-Con. That was exciting for me because, I was brought back to my childhood, with the Ted DiBiase and everything like that. He was a nice guy.
$1 million man.
Yes, everybody's got a friend. But he was really nice to me. I do feel sort of bad for him.
I just thought every time I see a picture of him, it's just
Virgil.
He's just sitting there by himself with a table full of photos, and I'm like, oh my God, nobody loves Virgil.
And a referee shirt.
Yeah, no, he wasn't.
I would have went over to him if I wasn't in pain and if we weren't, pressed for time and everything else like that. But he was standing right in front of the Bret Hart line, so people were going up to him as they were online and everything else, and we were just so nervous about meeting, Bret Hart finally that. I was kind of yelling at my mom, and, saying, don't look at him. She felt bad. But, I couldn't sacrifice that. I couldn't, there's no way. I couldn't do that again.
Oh, man. We got like 2 minutes left. I wanted to touch on this. Now with Dolph Ziggler being the World Heavyweight Champion, cashing in on Monday Night Raw against Alberto Del Rio, what do you see do you see a heel turn future for Alberto Del Rio?
I don't. I don't think of this heel turn with Alberto Del Rio. I do think that somehow Ziggler and Biggie Langston are going to come to blows at one point. I think that they're going to actually have a feud. I think they're going to try to push Biggie. They'll probably throw AJ in the mix and have them fight over her like every other superstar on the roster right now. But as far as Del Rio is concerned, I don't think that they're going to keep him in the picture long, sadly.
Probably not. I mean, unless they're looking for a possible Ziggler-Cena matchup somewhere down the road, and obviously that's going to mean that he needs to drop the world title so he can go after Cena. I was a little disappointed with WrestleMania in the fact that AJ Lee is a Union City girl. She's from New Jersey, and
she's so beautiful.
There really wasn't much pop for her at Mania, and I was kind of disappointed because I went to No Way Out that was held at the Izod Center, and I went to a Raw at The Rock, and she always got a lot of pop from the crowd regardless of her character, and at WrestleMania it just seemed like she got nothing.
Yeah, that is pretty sad, although I don't think the acoustics at the arena were even that great because they were outside. So
yeah.
I don't think that we really knew how much they were chanting or what kind of noise they were making other than what was going on with the boom mic.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I had a friend of mine that said that the crowd at WrestleMania was too quiet, and I had to explain to him, I'm like, look, it's an outside crowd. It's not an enclosed environment. You can yell and scream all you want. It's not as loud as it's going to be with like Monday Night Raw the next day, which was so loud. I mean, had to be the most energetic and interactive crowd I've pretty much ever seen at a wrestling event. I mean, and it didn't end. I mean, it continued in the parking lot. It continued all the way to the subway station. It continued on the train.
Thank you, train.
I mean, we were throwing YouTube videos back and forth all week on Facebook with the whole Fandango thing, and
They were like an old ECW crowd.
It was crazy, but Monday Night Raw following WrestleMania has been notoriously loud, energetic, and notoriously heel happy. They love the heels on the Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania.
Yeah, I mean, Thank You Big Show was one of the chants. They were chanting a lot of stuff, especially with the chairs and everything else like that. It was amazing to watch. I was kind of distracted, but I looked up because I heard the crowd. I mean, that was pretty crazy. Yeah,
I was pretty much laughing the entire. I was laughing more because of the crowd reaction than the actual matches that were going on. It was the matches were secondary. The crowd was they were just nuts. They were dancing and they were chanting. I mean, there was even a Randy Savage chant.
Right.
I mean,
Randy.
It was crazy. I mean, it was nuts. They were chanting for the Ice Cream Man. They were chanting for RVD.
Pretzel Man.
Yeah, the Pretzel Man, RVD. They were chanting. I mean, it was crazy. And it's when the announcers, you had Michael Cole and Jerry Lawler and JBL, and they were all sitting there commenting about the crowd reaction. And
I don't think they knew what to do.
They didn't. They gave them a roll call too, like the New York Yankees Bleacher Creatures do to the players. The fans were doing it to JBL and Cole and Lawler. They were making them get up and tip their cap. Well, they would just kept chanting their name until they did.
Really?
It was
pretty crazy.
It was crazy. It was fun. It made it very enjoyable, and it's exactly what the WWE needed because I think WrestleMania fell flat. I gave WrestleMania 29 a 6.5.
Where was Jim Ross?
I don't give it a 7.
7. All right. Well, you didn't watch Raw. Did you watch WrestleMania?
I've seen the Undertaker CM Punk match. It's the best match I've seen in about 10 years.
And if that match didn't happen, it'd get about a 5. So
CM Punk really hurt his knee. He was supposed to go through that table, and that table would not give.
Yeah, that was another thing. Like, what was up with that table? I mean, even Triple H got thrown on and it didn't go down into the second time.
Spanish announce people were not having that.
I don't know. They reinforced the Spanish table. I don't know.
No break on my table.
No, Jesus. Well, Nancy, we thank you very much for your time. We'll get you to call in every now and then. You know, we're not going to hit wrestling every single week, but you know, when something happens, we'll definitely give you a call. But I appreciate your time.
So do I, Nancy.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I'll talk to you soon, girl.
Bye.
Well, we're pretty much out of time. We do apologize for the cutoff the first time. We hit our allotment of time and took a couple seconds to get the second segment up. And just visit our Facebook page, facebook.com/Damage365. Give us some feedback, some suggestions, and that's pretty much it. That's all the time we got. Anything in closing?
Keep listening, guys.
Keep listening. We love you guys. See you next week. See ya.
See ya.